Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews.
Don't make me destroy you.
Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews. I promised a while ago I would check in on the Star Wars Vintage Collection LAAT Gunship, the HasLab crowdfunding campaign. I couldn't get around to looking at it immediately when the campaign had finished because I've been horribly ill and I was waiting for a new computer to arrive because of that one there, right there. Just couldn't cut the mustard anymore. So big old delay on this. Nobody's going to care, but I said I would do it anyway, so let me just have a look. All I know is that it did reach the final mark. I was following Yakface on X. Been following that account for quite a while now, and they always sort of reveal and update everything. So I know it hit the threshold, but let's just have a look anyway for the purpose of the fact that I did reviews for it. And as you can see there at the bottom of the screen, it did hit 10,541 backers out of the required 8,000. So, well done, I suppose. If you've backed this and you wanted it, then fantastic for you. Which means, I think, by backing that, yeah, you managed to get the Coleman Trebor carded figure. I don't get any of the others, though. Value added, gone, there. Oh, Christ, pressed the wrong one. Yeah, so 10,000 backers, you get Coleman Trebor, the famous Jedi that jumps up on a ledge, immediately gets killed by Jango Fett, and Count Dooku laughs at him. So yeah, he never actually lives long enough to see the LAAT gunships, so that's interesting. But yeah, okay, fine, fair enough, cool, well done if you back this. You know, I made my thoughts quite clear on it. For the price, what was it? I don't think it has the price there anymore, but it was what, $450 odd dollars? You know, 450 odd pounds. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it's a lot of money, and I stick by that it's a lot of money considering what you're actually getting. Yes, it's big. It's, you know, it's bigger than the previous release ones. You get a nice lovely stand there. But, you know, these little bits and pieces here they're a bit empty, aren't they? And this thing looks a bit empty. You get two clone pilots, you know, to go inside the cockpit area. But then you've got these two nugget areas empty. You needed another two of these to go inside these, or at least two other clones to go inside these. But no, they didn't even bother doing that, did they? They didn't even sort of offer that as like a sweet incentive. Unfortunately, I'm going to say unfortunately, I think a lot of people jumped on this out of fear of missing out. You know, by all means, go at me for that one if you want. But I do fundamentally believe that might be, that's part and parcel of it. It happens to me, it happens to me. Look at my frigging war, for Christ's sake. Fear of missing out on, you know, these lightsabers that get released because they disappear once they're sold out. They're no production anymore. They go until they get re-released later on down the line, a few years later on down the line. You know, I jumped to the chance to get the Dooku saber, what was a bit of a hefty price, if I'm being honest with you, but I've not seen it available since, you know, at any general store. And when it's on eBay, you're looking at 500 frigging quid for it. I'm not paying that. So I get it. You know, people jumping on this, and you know, if you're massively into this aspect and the vintage collection, and you have an abundance of clone figures already. Say if you've already got an army of clones and you've got an army of droids and whatever, and you're looking, this is going to add to that, then fine, great, fair enough, you've got that already. I just think there could have been more to this, and I stand by that. There could have been more to this for the price. You know, blasters, lasers, anything, you know, better panels to change out, because these panels here are nothing, aren't they? They're just nothing. So there you go. But it's hit the backer amount, and there were a lot of vocal people out there saying don't back it, you know, speak with your wallets. But ultimately, if that was the end goal, and some of you suggested that as well on the comments to me, some of you were backing it and well in favour of it. Fine, fair enough. But some of you that you know, said you weren't going to back it, and you were going to speak with your wallets. Well, sadly, that isn't going to make any difference to Hasbro at this point, because they've succeeded in this campaign. It's very different to the Rancor, it's very different to Reaver's lightsaber, where they completely flatlined and failed miserably. You know, that's why we've not seen anything from the Black Series since, because they were dreadful campaigns. And for me, you know, this is akin to the Rancor in a way, because it's very bare bones. It's a bit bare bones. Yes, it's big, but it's bare bones. It's a bit of an empty shell. But there you go. That's my thoughts. It's just a quick little catch-up thoughts there. Like I said, if you did back this, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know what your hopes are for getting this. You're looking forward to getting it. Is it part of your wider collection? If you collected all the other vintage collection vehicles before, is this your first one? You know, when I think about the other vehicles, there's so much more to them. So let me know your thoughts or in the comment section down below. By all means, if you think I'm just being a very, very bitter person about this, I can assure you I'm not. I'm being realistic as somebody looking from the outside in. But if that's the way you feel, by all means, let me know as well. We'll engage in conversation on it. Try and convince me. You know, I've said for quite a while now that I went down a bit of the wrong route in terms of collecting Star Wars figures. I went for the Black Series 6-inch scale. You know, but the vintage collection seems to have a much more wide scope with greater depth in figures, you know, and variations. We're not, you know, vintage collections are not just getting friggin' Mandalorians all the time, whereas Black Series it's like a replication of Mandalorians left, right, and center. So yeah, you know, I'm very open to honest discourse on this one. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'm guessing, you know, when this comes out, I'll look forward to some of you, if you want to show off your vehicle when it arrives, or you're going to do some videos, post them up there. Show us all what it's about when it does arrive. So there, I'm going to leave that one there. It's only a quick blast because, like I said, I've missed all this. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your product when it arrives, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.